This review of Mega Man Zero 3 may contain spoilers and coarse language. I would also recommend you check out the videos on Zero 1 and 2 before checking out this one. So now we've got something going down. We had Zero 1, a rough diamond, and Zero 2, a well-cut but not perfect diamond. But Zero 3, that's when the diamond's cut just right, featuring no grinding, new systems, and a crazy amount of improvements. Zero 3 slices everything just right. In what ways? Well, let's get into that, starting with the story. Taking place a few months after Zero 2, Zero and the gang find a prison colony that crashed onto Earth, revealing an evil creature named Omega and his buddy, Dr. Vile. Dr. Vile. It's Dr. Vile. Fucking seriously. Dr. Vile is the one that started the Elf Wars, and instead of fucking killing him, these idiots decided that, hey, instead, let's make him live forever. Yeah, no, it's not a fucking joke or anything. That's literally what they did. He also rebuilt Copy X with a stutter. Anyway, Ciel says, hey, I developed a good alternative energy, to which Neo Arcadia says, no, fuck you, to which Zero has to fight assholes again, eventually fighting bosses from Zero 1. During this, Dr. Vile becomes the new commander of the army and strips the 4 Guardians of their position. Then that asshole fucking missiles a city and kills tons of people to get the Dark Elf, which fuses with Omega. Zero then decides to fight Copy X. Doing so, he finds out that Copy X had a bomb implanted inside of him, and then Vile is in charge of Neo Arcadia. Zero and Ciel decide that they're going to find out exactly what Dr. Vile is planning. They find out what Vile is planning after he controls every Reploid on the planet, and then X unzips that control and lets Zero go and stop him. Oh, by the way, X and Zero are immune to it. Upon tracking down Vile, you find Dark Elf Omega and do battle with him. To find out that Omega, as strange as it is, he's using Zero's original body! It's incredible! I can barely tell the difference between them! Anyway, bam, you get him, you're done. X permanently goes to the Reploid afterlife, well, kind of. The Dark Elf becomes the Mother Elf, having the curse of Vile lifted off of her, and Zero says he is Zero. Whew! Talk about cutscenes. What I like about this game is, while cutscene heavy, it's still something I can be invested in. There are also some nice twists here and there that Zero 1 had, and the presentation is even better, with some scaling cutscenes in it. Zero is also pretty sassy in this game, and I like the fact that while he was a pretty blank slate in 1 and 2, he's got a personality in 3. The only thing I don't like is that, the big reveal that it's Omega and Zero's original body, and that it looks fucking nothing like him. You know what's funny? Capcom did this shit twice.
So slow to catch on.
Though Capcom realized the mistake here, they're not gonna fix the Zero mistake. Anyway, yeah, Zero 3 has an alright plot, but I really wish Omega actually looked like the original Zero. Now with gameplay changes, well, there's quite a bit to talk about here. The first is that grinding is gone now. Zero is 100% at max level right from the start. It's so much better now. Zero also loses the chain rod and gets the recoil rod as the replacement. This new weapon allows Zero to push objects away from him and also jump off the floor really high. As cool as it is utility-wise, I really didn't use it that much as I got further into the game. The most I really used it for was the cool EX skill associated with it. As well, comparatively to the chain rod, it's pretty limited in scope and I really don't like that. Overall, it is a really cool weapon, especially for platforming, but its combat utility is somewhat limited. And I wish it was just like the chain rod. Oh, the chain rod's so good. Chips are a new thing Zero can get in this game. Chips are like the forms from the second game, but they have a bit more customization. The first are the body chips. These have the same elemental enhancements, along with a no hitback and no falling platforms effect as well. And they change Zero's color. Yay! Secondly, there are head chips, which can do some interesting things like auto-charge items, make the charge quicker, or heal yourself when you're standing still. Then the foot chips come along and Jesus fuck, these things are the best. One lets you hop on top of water, one lets you double jump, one lets you go down walls slower, and one, after a secret boss fight, lets you do all of them. Ah, it's so awesome! Zero has so much more mobility and convenience with these chips, and I'm a little sad that some of them aren't native upgrades, but god damn are they fun. The double jump chip is by far my favorite, especially because Zero cannot double jump when dashing in the X games, but he can in this one. Another brand spanking new addition is cyberspace. Throughout the game, Zero can access going into cyberspace from some strange looking doors. These areas are easier and activate nearly every cyber elf that you have to make it even easier. This doesn't really have much besides, well, being easier, but it's really good if you're a little baby boy, so yeah. However, there is a great secret where you can fight Phantom on the final stage in cyberspace to get the Ultima leg part, which I would highly recommend doing. The thing is, in order for people to not want to go into cyberspace, it does diminish your grades, so it's up to you whether or not you'd like to go and do it. Grades are still important in this game, and EX skills are definitely returning, with 12 of them in the game. Which, by the way, most of these EX skills are reused from Zero 2, along with some new exceptions to that. And now, we get to Cyber Elves, which are pretty similar except for one thing, the Satellite Edition. Cyber Elves can be changed to two different options, Fusion and Satellite. Fusion works like it did in the original two games, but Satellite is the new thing that lets Zero equip two of them, and it doesn't penalize the player for using them. This is very welcome because now it lets you choose your Cyber Elves, but now there's this limited pool, much like Zero's weapons, where you can pick and choose any Cyber Elf you want. This is so welcome because it finds a way to make it so that Zero can't just eat every Cyber Elf on sight, but it also makes it so that you have to decide what would be the best Cyber Elf for me to go through this mission. You also don't need to talk to CL or use a trans server to upgrade these elves. Zero can just do it from the menu, which is an extremely welcome addition. So with that and the ability with chips, and you have a Zero that's really versatile to go through the game with. Though I mean, if he had the chain rod, you know. Also, some small thing now is that you can unlock mini-games. Just as long as you do very annoying requirements like beating the entire game with an S rank with only a buster. Or you could just not do that. Anyway, this mini-game that you get for beating the game is alright, you know. Yeah, there's, you know, mini-games, that's it. The level design has increased greatly. There are some pretty exciting moments in each level, sometimes creating those minor wait a minute moments where you have to look before you leap. That, added with the chips, makes these levels have some great design. A personal favorite of mine is one of the first stages, with it dropping lava pods you have to hop off of at the right moment. I really love the missile stage too. Seeing little bits of the missile fly off as you continue going through the stage really makes this stage so much cooler. The ending stages too also get a little spike heavy, and my god do I love it, especially hopping around with all the chips that I have installed on me. The only stage I'm not a big fan of is Cubit Fox Tars. This stage, along with having some shitty enemy placement, also has these mini bosses where you just hit air conditioner units back into a fucking generator. These suck, they're so fucking boring, but I do like balancing on the steel beams. I especially love Glacier Lake Cack Tank stage with the enemies that have boards Zero can ride to the end of the stage. It's so fun to hitch a ride with these things and cruise through the level. I love it. So overall, a pretty good upgrade, just don't like Cubit Foxstar stage. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Cubit Foxstar, that's another thing I don't like. His boss. Bosses this time around are pretty fucking solid. The only complaint is Cubit Foxstar. With this stupid fire move that is a little hard to avoid, and I hate it. Otherwise, though, these are some solid fights. I especially love fighting against Omega in every form. What a fucking fun series of fights he is. But seriously, there are some really great bosses in this. One for sure is the Anubis refight, where he basically does the same thing that he did in Zero 1. He's still that fun. Blazin' Flizzard, who you gotta watch carefully and is easy to counter around. And Volteal Bibelo, who pops out of holes and fires projectiles. My god, these Maverick names. The graphics for this game are pretty on par with Zero 2. They do make use of scaling at much higher levels as said in the presentation and story. I have to say that the levels are really nice and fun to look at. even if they seem a tad toned down from Zero 2. One thing I don't like now is that even the Mavericks have little androgynous bodies this time, but some do stand out that I like a lot. Like 4 out of 8 of them do that. Don't really like that change at all, but at least the actual Maverick designs are pretty cool. I have to give some bonus points to Omega's design because he is fucking amazing. But I have to take some points back because he's literally the same Zero in this game and it's not even close. God, that's so stupid. The music for this game is spectacular. I really enjoy tons of the tunes in this game. One for sure is the refight with Hana Machine, whose stage is a remix of the Forest of Dices from Zero 2. There's also plenty of original songs that I love, such as Devil Bat Shilt's theme. This soundtrack is certainly superb, but I do think I like Zero 2's soundtrack just a tad more. Just a little bit more variety in it, that's all. The sound effects and voice acting remain the same with some new characters such as Vile and Omega. Again, can't comment because it's a language I don't know. But holy shit, there it is guys, this seems like an Apex. Could the Zero games actually be better? Well, I mean I do know. Well, let's just say they fixed a lot of issues in this one right now, added cooler EX skills, no more grinding fun chips. Damn, certainly would give you some high hopes for Zero 4, right? Well, yeah, it certainly does, doesn't it?